It's a beautiful little baby right there. And the story ends very tragically with this situation. And I just don't understand how people can get to a point to where they feel the need to do this. Like it's just totally unnecessary, uncalled for. It's heinous. And sometimes just certain people just don't need to be let out of jail and be given a second chance. For situations like this, and I hope you guys understand, I'm going to give you some details that are probably going to rock you to the core. For those who've never been here before, you might find my content controversial or offensive. My information is coming from credible sources, which this story is coming from mercedsunstar.com. So thank you for the article. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale to make sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. Just in case if you want to act like you don't know what's happening over here. So Merced County, California takes yet another L. Crazy story. So, a 48-year-old man is currently in custody in connection with the kidnapping of a family reported Monday at a Highway 59 business just south of Merced, and I think that's out of California, according to Merced County Sheriff's Office. Let me see if I can get the first individual because I'm going to get a little bit confused here. This is one of two people that are accused of this. His name, let's back this up, is Jesus Manuel Sagado, who's 48 years old. And I know it's Jesus. I'm joking. Jesus Manuel Sagado, 48 years old, was identified, and I want y'all to notice, tattoos all on the neck. Told y'all about people with face tattoos. Was identified as a person of interest in an investigation into the disappearance of an 8-month-old baby by the name of Arui Derry. And I know I didn't say that name right. It's Aroohi. Aruhi, which is let me see if I can back it up just for a second. That's the baby right there. Aruhi Derry, 8 months old. Also, her parents. See if I can get them up there. Jasleen Kaur, who's 27 years old. Jasdeep Singh, 36 years old. And her uncle, Amandeep Singh, 39 years old. And I'm sure I didn't say those names exactly correct, so y'all just bear with me. Detectives received information that one of the victim's ATM cards was used at an ATM located at a bank in the city of Atwater, according to a news release by the Merced County Sheriff's Office. Prior to law enforcement involvement, Salgado attempted to take his own life, so he was trying to take the coward's way out. Salgado is now receiving medical attention and in critical condition. Once y'all find out what these dudes did, you won't feel bad for him at all. But I hope he survives so that he can be exposed by way of the law and do his due diligence and end up doing life in prison. He deserves it. The sheriff's office, with the help of several law enforcement agencies, continue to actively look for all 4 kidnapped victims who have not been located. Merced County Sheriff's detectives received information that one of the victims' ATM cards was used in Atwater in the early morning hours on Tuesday. Investigators obtained a surveillance photo of a subject making a bank transaction, and the person was similar in appearance to a surveillance photo from the original kidnapping scene. Here's a little bit of background. At approximately noon, working in conjunction with law enforcement partners, the sheriff's office received information that identified Salgado as a person of interest in the investigation. And you guys can see that there's somebody that's zip tied right there. They're walking them out, hands are zip tied behind their backs. This is just something that feels like it came out of a movie. Like, this don't even feel real. Like, are people really doing stuff like this? Kidnapping, extortion, execution? I'm sorry, this just don't seem like life, man. I know it's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, but when I read this story, it just didn't feel real. It's just terrible. Investigators say that the discovery of the burning truck. So here's what happened. I don't know if they're going to say this or not, but they basically went to these people's business. They threatened them with guns, zip tied them, walked them outside with their hands behind their back, put them in the back of a truck, and took them to go do God knows what. According to a sheriff's news release at 11:39 a.m. Monday, firefighters with Cal Fire's Madera Mariposa Merced unit were dispatched to, I don't know why they didn't just say firefighters or something, I don't know, were dispatched to the Bucat Road and Oakdale Road in Winton after a black 2020 Dodge Ram truck was reported on fire. California Highway Patrol officers arrived at around 12:35 p.m. and requested help from the Merced Police Department to contact the truck's registered owner, Amandeep Singh, who was one of the family members that was in the picture, the group picture. Merced police arrived at the residence, but they were unable to reach Amandeep Singh. They did reach family members related to him. After family members were unable to reach the victims, the four were reported missing to the Merced County Sheriff's Office. Deputies then responded to the business on South Highway 59 and determined that four family members had been kidnapped, because they got surveillance video, and you guys will see some of those screenshots here, on South Highway 59, and determined the four family members had been kidnapped. The sheriff's detectives believe the family members were kidnapped at gunpoint from the business in the 800 block of South Highway 59. No motive was released. I repeat, no motive has been released. But I think the news stations actually gave a motive, which I think they tried to confirm this, and I'll give you that here in just a second. But deputies are asking for anybody with information about the kidnapping to call 209-385-7547. Tips are confidential, and you can remain anonymous. I don't know why you would even want to remain anonymous when you got people like this running around your neighborhood. I'd be wanting to tell it on them real quick. And I think everybody should be more like that. You ought to want to get the trash out of your community. You understand? When I heard this, the first thing that popped in my head was money. This looks like an extortion and an execution over money. I think they said that. I'll play the news videos and let you hear it, but that's what I believe it is based on the information. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Now, of course, we always ask that you guys do us a small favor. We want to have one thumb up for everybody watching. So if you would, please click that thumbs up. What it does is it shares this video, lets more people know where to find it. We want to share this story so more people can join in on this discussion, okay? Here we go. Let's get it.
A tragic ending to the search for a family of four who was kidnapped in Merced County. Their bodies have now been found. Detectives are now trying to figure out a motive and whether the suspect had help. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell is live at the newsroom with the latest developments. Josh.
And David, this story continues to get worse. Our sister station KFSN learning the 8-month-old Aurora Derry was left in the orchard where her family was found dying from exposure. 8-month-old Arui Derry, seen here with her parents, 27-year-old mother Jasleen Kaur and 36-year-old father Jasdeep Singh, and the baby's uncle, 39-year-old Amandeep Singh, found dead Wednesday night in an orchard. They were kidnapped from their family's trucking business in Merced County in Northern California Monday. And our sister station KFSN has learned from a family spokesperson that the suspect used to drive for the family's company and that they had had a disagreement and parted ways. The spokesperson also said the baby died from exposure.
Very frustrating. Of course, we were working the case the entire time, hoping that we'd find them safe, but unfortunately that was not the case. And through all the evidence that we gathered at this time, by the time we had actually received calls of the kidnapping, we believe that the killings have already taken place.
Chilling surveillance video released by the sheriff shows the kidnapping take place. The family emerges from their business with their hands zip-tied behind their backs, taken to a pickup truck. Hours later, that pickup truck found engulfed in flames. On Tuesday, authorities arrested 48-year-old Jesus Manuel Salgado, turned in by his own family. Before he was arrested, Salgado attempted to take his own life.
He's a native to the area as far as we know, and we do know that he had done something very similar in 2005. I believe that he had somebody else with him, and at least helping him do some of the things. As far as the homicide itself, we're going to let the evidence take us where it needs to take us, and as soon as we find out any different, but we're working the case, and we do believe that there was at least an accomplice to help with some of the things that had gone on during this event.
I'm just curious how much money for the death of this entire group of 4 people that were family. How much money was this worth? Couple million? 300-400 million? Like how much money was this company making? Or are you trying to tell me that these people probably robbed them of whatever money they had in their account? What, a few $1,000s? I think whatever amount that we're going to find out when it comes out in the court documents, nothing is worth their life. Nothing is worth breaking up a family over like this. Let alone what we believe to be ending all 4 of these people's lives over what amount of money. Like, it just ain't that damn serious. And some people are just pieces of crap, man. Just period.
The sheriff says at this time, the exact motive is unclear.
Evil has reared its ugly head, and we're here. And I've said it before, this guy's got a special place in hell. And I'm hoping that that's where he ends up.
Now, I like that he said that. Where have you guys heard somebody say that before? There's a special place in hell for people like that. How many times have I said that on my podcast? I know I didn't create the saying. I just think that I used it quite a bit on my podcast. I think that some of my videos went and they were shared with the world, and a lot of people have heard my words out there. When I used to say there's a special place in hell for child and baby murderers. You guys remember me popularizing that on my channel? I know I didn't create it, but it's just like when I said hashtag see something, say something, just popularized it. Popularized a statement that had already been out there. But I like the fact that he said that, and I definitely agree. He said there's a special place in hell. Come on, man. And they included the baby. I mean, the adults, there's nothing that makes what they did right to those adults, but adults are adults. At least they stand a chance to defend themselves. What was that 8-month-old baby supposed to do?
Tonight at 5, a second suspect is now behind bars in the killings of a Merced family of 4. The arrest was announced this morning by the Merced County Sheriff's Office. ABC 10's Kurt Rivera explains the suspect's connection to the family.
In custody in the Merced County Jail, Alberto Salgado. He was arrested for criminal conspiracy, accessory, and destroying evidence. He's the brother of Jesus Manuel Salgado. Jesus Salgado booked Thursday night and arrested for 4 counts of murder and 4 counts of kidnapping.
We know what we know. We know he did it, but now we got to convince 12 people that he did it.
Sheriff Vern Warnke believes money is the motive in the case, telling the Associated Press Salgado had a feud with the family and their trucking business. Salgado is a former employee who, according to the sheriff, quote, got pretty nasty in text messages or emails with the Singh family dating back a year.
It could have been anywhere from the money being owed to disrespect. There's something along those lines to have that motivation to come in here.
The sheriff says in 2005, Salgado had a similar beef with another former boss. According to the California Department of Corrections, he was convicted on first-degree robbery with a firearm, false imprisonment, and more. He was sentenced to 11 years. He was released on parole in 2015 and discharged from parole in 2018. He also received an 8-month sentence from Merced County for possession of a controlled substance.
I fully think that it's because of our lack of teeth in a judicial system that we have in this state that they're allowing the criminals to be more brazen and obviously more violent.
And you know, and that's wild that you can't even help your own family members. You can't give your own family members a job knowing that they're going to have a difficult time going out into the world and trying to find a job, knowing that he's got these big, huge felonies on his record that he's done prison time for.
And they're getting away with it.
That was our Kurt Rivera reporting. The Merced County District Attorney's Office is still waiting to receive the case from sheriff's investigators. Charges may be filed Monday. If so, the brothers could be arraigned at that same time.
Jazz Deep goes over and makes contact with our suspect, and then you'll see them walk.
All right, now this video is not the best video, but you will be able to see from this a little bit of the surveillance video that they have. So it's a video of a video.
Back over towards the building. He's got this trash bag in his hand. As Jeep walks up to the building, we'll pause it and get a photo of our suspect. And you'll continue to walk up the ramp. You'll put down the trash bag and you'll see right there, he pulls out a firearm. He then enters the business. Unfortunately, there's no cameras inside of the business. So we have no video surveillance inside. At 9/11, the back door opens. You'll see the suspect come out and you'll see the firearm. And then it also appears that Jazz Deep and Almond Deep are zip tied behind their backs.
Now, as you guys can see here, they're walking them out zip tied. Man, that's just crazy. That's why I totally understand, man, when people just stay strapped. And this video is not good. I don't even know why they put this out. It's like you can barely see it.
Same suspect gets out of the vehicle, goes back inside the business.
That's a recording of a recording. I don't know. So, I'm going to just go ahead and skip that video. But here's my thing. It just really sucks the fact that, you know, you should be able to give a family member a job, especially if you have a company that you own, a legitimate business. And you ought to be able to take somebody who's had a rough life and trying to get their stuff together, or at least say that they're trying to get their stuff together, and say, here you go, you come work for my company, I'll cut you a check. And it just seems like no matter how much you try to help somebody, they're just going to be ungrateful. And it sounds like these people who were trying to extort these people, threaten these people, and probably ultimately took their lives were just flat out ungrateful. But I hope they do life in prison. I hope that all of the information comes out. but it's such a scary thing. It seems like it's only something you would see in movies. So y'all keep the rest of the family members in prayer. Just a real sad situation. R.I.P. to all of those souls, especially that 8-month-old baby, man. Just the baby couldn't speak for herself nor defend herself. Nothing she could have done. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. And we want to hear what you guys think about this true crime story, okay? Thank you.